Let me just tell you a little bit. This is the science stuff that's really cool about them. They contain, the oils contain what are called sesquiterpenes. These are molecules which, when they are ingested into the body, either through the skin or orally, they bring in oxygen into the cell, they repair the DNA of the cell, and they cause basically dysfunction to become functional. This is one of the real missing elements in modern medicine here in the West, is that everything is treated in one direction. Meaning, if a person has a mental ailment, let's say, or they have a problem staying grounded, right? Well, they'll give them something that sedates them. You know, they'll give them something which just basically makes them unfeeling. Well, you're not fixing the problem. You're just basically diluting it by giving them a drug which makes them no longer deal with that ailment or face it at all, because they walk into this world of complete delusion. And so, as that progresses over time, you never address what's the neurology. And then the scary part is, you are actually shutting the brain down. All the neurons in your brain, especially folks that have like Alzheimer's or are dealing with a type of dementia or things like that. What is occurring is the cellular structure in the brain, those neurons depend on serotonin. Serotonin is a neurochemical. It's a catalyst for function in the brain. And all these nerve endings, they look like an octopus. And all these tendrils that come out, they just barely, almost, but not quite touch. And at that location, that's called the synapse. There must be something, a chemical, a neurochemical, which must allow the electricity, literal electricity in the brain, to cross that gap. And if you do not have the proper amount of serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, these types of brain neurochemicals, if you don't have those in balance, what begins to happen is the cells begin to stop firing. And it's not necessarily that they die, it's just they just stop doing their job. Well, when you then potentiate the problem by giving them a chemical which shuts them down even further, okay, you are basically systematically taking this person who was already struggling for cognizance, and now you're making them totally shut down. Okay, and so, and this is, the funny thing is we've now had enough time, to be able to look back and kind of form a map of where we're going. And it's becoming so painfully obvious to people as they watch this occur. It's becoming obvious that, well, wait a minute, these people aren't getting better. They're just shutting down and they're just easier to be around. What we're now seeing is, we're seeing the causticity that is occurring because we are systematically shutting down the brain chemistry in this culture. That's basically what's happening. And these things, these chemicals that are contained, and I say chemicals as in a nature sense, these chemicals that are contained in these oils actually do what we were designed to do, and that is to heal. And they actually come into the body, and they begin these processes which have become atrophied. And the sesquiterpenes come in, and they come in and do what modern chemistry has not been able to do, and that is to repair the DNA.
Bye.